we're just getting the strike water up to heat, 71 degrees roughly. This is the brew pot already. It's got 39 litres of water in it. Okay.
Does that mean you install that?
Don't matter. Doing it again, aren't we?
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just running off in here. I'm doing this into a jug at the moment. I have got a pump and I will be circulating it later on, but I don't want any of the grain to block up the pump too much, so I figure I'll just do this way first for a bit, get rid of the worst of the bits of grain that I've got in there. It's already coming through a little bit clearer. I'll do this 2 or 3 times to be honest. Too much. Of course, the sound is all going to have the washing machine in the background, isn't it? Sorry guys. Don't need to use any of the sound. I can put some subtitles on it and play some music over the top. Okay, right, I'm just going to hook up the recirculation, so I'll put the disconnect on, hook up the pump, make sure the arrows are going in the right direction. And the idea is, because the pump runs at one speed, I can control the flow with the ball valve on the top here. Okay, so I need to connect up the pump. And I can switch it on. Now that's before I do, it'd be best to get some flow going into it. Just do it nice and gently. And get rid of all the air. The pump needs to be full. It doesn't self-prime. Get rid of the air. easiest way I can. It's going to work in some way or other. Give it a second, we're nearly there. Good. Switch it on and hope. Right, it's going far too quickly, so I'm going to just slow it right down. And then by looking here, I can just control it with this ball valve until I get a slow, gentle recirculation. So the idea is it's going from inside the grain pot into the main pot, out through the ball valve, through the pump, and then being returned, and you can regulate the rate. So monitoring here on the sight valve, sight glass, you can see, keep it at a steady level so that it's all in balance. And leave that for around about an hour, I guess. So set the timer. Okay, so we're sort of halfway through the mash. Got quite a nice bit of colour. You can see it's coming through much clearer now after a bit of time. So the mash bit of the sink, really good. We've got some recirculation happening nicely. I don't know whether you caught any of that, but we've got some good clarity coming through there. So it's looking good. We'll come back to it at the end. Okay, so I'm going to stop recirculation now. It's been nearly an hour, the timer's about to go off. I'm just going to switch it off so the pump stops. Silence. It's not that noisy anyway. And I'm going to switch the tap off here. I'm also going to switch the tap off. No, I'm not. I'm going to open this one up fully. I want to empty the wort out through the top into the grains so that we've not wasted any. That's my theory. I'll just quickly just put that down, disconnect the doings there, and then I'll just lift this up. That's it, all done. Okay, so the mash is nearly finished. I'm just going to let it settle out now, and then when it's finished we'll lift the grain basket out, let it drain. If we wanted to, we could do a little sparge using this attachment which fits on the inside here. I'm not going to need to do that today. I've used the full amount of water in the mash initially, so I'm not going to sparge at all. But yeah, I'm thinking pretty soon. As soon as the timer goes, we'll lift that out, let it drain in, and then we'll whack the heat up, add the hops, and we'll be ready for the boil. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to take the lid off. This is the end of the mash. We've mashed for an hour at 65 degrees. So that's all done. It's looking fine. It's looking pretty clear. So what we now need is this tool here. Thanks, Mike. And now I'm going to lift and let it drain. Okay, so we'll just leave that to drain. What we've got is we're going to end up with probably about 32 litres pre-boil, which is pretty much spot on. So while that's draining into there, I can rank up the heat. So I'm going to put the heat up to 103 so that we get the boil going. And that should do the trick. So quite quickly, see the temperature start to rise. At this point, if I wanted, I could add the lid back on, add my little sparge attachment, and sparge with just hot water from the tap, because I've got a combi boiler here, so it just makes it quite easy. But as I say, there's no need to do that. And off we go. So I'll leave that to drain and build it up the heat. Okay.
Action.
So what we've got here is we've got some still draining quite nicely. We've got 35, coming up to 35 litres. So I'm going to still let that carry on dripping in until we get to the boil. We're up to 85 degrees now, so we're getting there. Right,
yeah.
That's the boil starting, so that's drained. Take that off. Take this off as well. Quite warm. Get that out of the way. Okay, right, so this is the boil. I think we've up to 100 degrees quite happily. We're at 34.5 litres. So we're expecting a little bit of a loss there as we evaporate off. So we've now got 70 grams of Goldings hops going in. This is like a light bitter, but it's going to be about 10.50, and we've hit the numbers bang on at the moment. I'll just get that to sink. And then we're going to boil for 50 minutes, and then I'm going to put the chiller in to sterilise. The second hop addition, which is another 30 grams of Goldings and some Irish moss. Okay, that is going, so I'm going to leave that to its own device. Okay, so it's 50 minutes into the boil. Now I'm going to I'll put the chiller in, keep it out of the way. Start to sterilise it as well. Okay. So I'm going to put the second addition of hops in. So this is 30 grams of Goldings. Put those in. And I'm going to put a teaspoon of Irish moss as well. Okay, sink those hops. And that's it, just moving on. So there's the chiller, both hop additions. That's going nicely in there, bubbling away. It's getting a bit steamy. Move it back a bit. There we go, get an idea. The thing is, we've had some fairly substantial evaporation, so you can see we're now down to 29 litres. Now we were reading 1050 pre-boil gravity. The recipe said I should get 1050 in total, so probably going to be a good deal higher than that, so we shall see how it goes. Alexa, stop. Okay, so that's the boil done. So next step is to clear some space so you can see what I'm doing. Some of this stuff, got some star sand, get that out of the way. So I can just switch the power off. That's the boil completed. Okay, So I'm going to give it a quick stir, just to give it a minor whirlpool. Not a lot we really need. There's not any free hops in here. I put them in a bag, so it's all fine. There we go. Not really going to do anything, I don't think, but we'll get there. We'll let that settle for a bit, and I'm going to stick some water through the chiller. So take it from here. So what I'll do is I'll switch the water on, make sure there's a good flow. I'll show you as the temperature drops. You can see it's coming down reasonably quickly. I haven't got it on full blast because this is kitchen is quite temporary at the moment. We've got some work happening shortly, which will mean the kitchen's all being rebuilt, so we're making do with a few bits and pieces. But anyway, for now, there's the hot bags, there's the chiller happening. Hot water coming out here into the sink, all looking good. Got my sterilised fermenter ready to go. Start sand thoroughly, and what I'll be doing is, once the temperature's reached, connecting up this hose from here, dropping it into there and allowing it to aerate as it fills the fermenter up. I'll be using Nottingham yeast. Never used this one before. I've been using Sapphire SO4 and USO5 for the last brew I did, which is an American pale, which is 1066 gravity, starting gravity, and mosaic hops. It's sounding like it might be rather nice. Anyway, we shall see how it goes. But this is the, well, I don't know what you'd call it, but certainly my brewing kit. I'll do another video. So if you look it up, you'll find one that shows you how it's been constructed, what it all does and how it fits together. Okay. So we're now running off into the fermenter. A good sized drop, so that should give us some aeration. Just dry sand. It's beautiful colour. Quite clear. Very nice and clear. Drop the temperature down to 30 degrees. By the time it hits the fermenter, it should be lower than that. Ready for pitching. There we go, looking good. Let that run in there, pitch the yeast, and let it ferment out. And that's another brew done in about 3.5, maybe 4 hours from start to finish. Probably that will include cleaning up as well. Okay, so that's the kit in action. Okay, this is the morning after pitching the yeast. We have, you can see that, we have a very vigorous fermentation going on there. Might just call this beer Ripley, because it's blown it out of the goddamn airlock. There we go.